Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to another edition of Scoreboard here on ACTN. It's always a pleasure every Tuesday evening to be in your company between the hours of 8 to 9 where we talk sports. Welcome again to Scoreboard.
Thank you for having us.
Next Level Consulting Limited is a company
Correct.
that on its own
Correct.
just decided to stage a under-19 football tournament.
Right, but we would have had some years as a coach. I would have been an assistant at St. Benedict's.
Okay.
And after that, an assistant at Presentation.
All right, okay.
And before that, a manager in the Point Fortin civic system.
Okay.
And certainly over the years, I would have known my good friend, Miss Pompey. And without her, we would not have this tournament, because I approached her, very first and only person I approached, about having this tournament to try to help all of the kids we know have this really important talent in this country, a sporting ability, football, and try to help them get some kind of a platform to elevate themselves and their communities. And Ms. Pompey was gracious enough to say, you know what, let's try and work this out, and here we are today.
Yeah, because outside of the college league, there's no football for
Absolutely,
under-19.
absolutely.
Right. So when did the league started, and looking back now, is it too early to look back now and say, was the league a success? What are some of the areas we have to improve on and things like that?
Sure.
No, it's not too early. The league, I believe, was a great success because we had a great participation from teams throughout Trinidad and Tobago. And
this was in all communities, right?
All communities. We had from on the eastern, the northern, central, and south. So these are the teams that we gather and make one league. So we had the South Central in one zone, and then we had the Northeast in one zone playing amongst each other. After that, we came up with a Big 8. But what happened in the North Zone, we had a fault of 2 teams. So we just ended up with 4 teams. In the South Central, we had 6 teams. So what we did, we took the top 3 teams in the North, and we took the top 5 teams in the South, and make it a
Big 8.
Big 8.
Okay.
And where we had the quarterfinals, excellent, great turnout. People came out and support. When you go to the different communities during the league, community people were coming out as one, uniting as one, and coming out and show that support towards the young people of their community. We had some nice little players from different communities that came out and showed their talent that was just sitting there, and that we could tap on it and get these young people who are out of school and really into playing professional football or Super League football, and they were able to come out and show their talent in this league. And some coaches went wrong and they were looking.
Well, I was just about to ask if they had scouts.
We had coaches from different.
Because I saw Brian.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Mr. Williams. We had Mr. Kerry
Jefferson was there yesterday.
We have Mr. Dexter Cyrus. Going around to the different communities and having a look, and some of the players were approached. You know, like if they want to go on to put the football at a higher level and thing. And I believe some of the youngsters that were lost in the wayside got some opportunities knocking on their door. And this is what we wanted. We wanted to pave a way for giving the youngsters a next chance. A next chance to portray their talent and show the people what they have, and also to direct their future in the right direction.
Now, you were the main sponsor, right?
Absolutely.
Now, you are one of the people who put your money where your mouth is.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
I'm sure that you're going to be looking forward to 2021.
Well, absolutely. Well, a couple of things. As Ms. Pompey had mentioned, we are trying to help these kids get into a career, whether it be through scholarship or professionally. And to that end, we actually are going to be sending the MVP from this tournament to Halifax on trial with Coach Stephen Hart and his staff up there at a period to be announced in the near future.
And that's going to be funded by...
That will be funded by us, Next Level Consulting and the tournament. Now, as far as going forward, Ms. Pompey also made an important point about sponsorship. As a small company, we have a small security company. We have been blessed in the sense that, we have a fair enough customer base. But certainly, we could not sustain this over the course of a period of more than 2 to 3 years. So we would certainly want other corporate sponsors and well-wishers to come on board, because this isn't about us, This is about the country. This is about the country. Because we have, we use the words or the term at risk a lot, but we have a lot of at-risk kids. Kids who are on the border of making good and sometimes not so good decisions. And so when it comes to opportunity, we find that, if a kid has a talent, we have to feed it. And I don't think we do a good enough job in the whole country at doing that. Not everybody could be an academic, and certainly not everybody could be a footballer. So we have to respect both of those things and say, okay, let's help these footballers get to where they need to be, and they'll bring the country a lot of pride and joy. So we are going to be planning for the future.
But did you all, in this first year, did you all reach out to corporate Trinidad and Tobago?
Yes.
Yeah, we send over 100 letters.
And nothing came in?
Well, I have to say, Ramlogan and Sons, both their Couva and Marabella locations helped us a lot. Ramsing Sports World helped us.
Yeah, I always find that Ramsing and Ramlogan always...
They are supportive.
They are under the radar, but they...
Quite so.
They always support.
Absolutely. Maritime helped us a lot as well, and most recently National Energy Corporation. And when we went down to Mearo, the Mearo Rio Claro Regional Corporation helped us. So you're seeing where people are willing to give a little bit, but certainly something of this nature, it runs a pretty penny. It runs a pretty penny, and we're still spending because we still have the award ceremony coming.
When is that?
That is happening. Is that the 21st of March at the Marabella South Secondary, and we still have one more game. The All-Star Select team is going to play the National Under 20 team on Saturday coming. So that's going to be something again to help some of these kids.
Where is that game?
Well, tentatively, I'm waiting for Coach King. Derek King is the head coach to give us a location and so on. But we, wherever it is, we come in. We come in to play. Because we have some of these kids who are dying to get onto that National Under 20 team and show themselves, right? So we're going to be there.
What about officials and things? How that works? Because I guess you all have to pay for officials.
Yeah. The teams, the way it worked, as we had mentioned before, the TTFA sanctioned the league, thankfully, and we appreciate all of the TTFA support. And the referees and match officials who, as a part of that sanction, they were there, and certainly the teams footed the bill during the initial rounds. The committee footed the bill in the knockout stages. So yes, there was a budgeted item for match officials, and we had really good and dedicated officials throughout this, and we have to thank them for being there.
A good turnout yesterday,
Yes. Yeah. Mearo was outstanding. I have to say thank you to Maguire United and the Mearo community.
So you all went all over?
Yeah. Because we had trendsetter Hawks from Port of Spain, Maloney, Hearts of Maloney, SP Boys from Manzanilla, Maguire from Mearo, a combined team, right? Deportivo from Point Fortin, All Blacks from Faizabad, Mascal from Maruga, Princess Tongue Achievers. I mean, we had
from
Dastrace in Enterprise. So we went to all of the grounds and made sure our presence. They knew we are here for you guys.
What's the feedback like?
Outstanding. Not enough. We need more.
How long the tournament run for?
From December 21st, Sandra?
Yeah. From December 21st.
Okay.
So
December was the final.
The final games. And then on the 21st of March, we will have the prize given.
Correct.
What are some of the new initiatives you are looking to implement in the new season?
Well, we want to bring in Tobago for sure. all right? That is
the additional.
Absolutely.
And they keep knocking on the door.
They keep knocking on the door. There were at least 6 teams who reached out to us this year that we couldn't, from Tobago. We couldn't accommodate them based on sponsorship and transportation and so on. So in terms of new initiatives, we certainly want to be able to get Tobago on board. I think one of the things we have to look at is how we could try to help the female side of the game. Miss Pompey is very dedicated and passionate about the female side of the game. Her daughter is a national player. So we are going to consider if we can allow for 1 or 2 females of a particular age group to participate and how that would work. That's something that...
On the male dominant team?
Absolutely. Okay. We want to consider it. I want to put that on...
Not a separate female?
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to, in terms of funding, it would be tough. If we get the funding, we would do it,
We'd be excited to do it.
We would be excited. But if it is, we cannot get that funding, how do we accommodate, if it's an elite player or 2 on a team, not just any player, elite, and certainly, we would want to have better insurance coverage as a result if we are going to do something like that, because I think, one goes with the other when you're exposing yourself to a little bit more risk where that is concerned. But I know we have some real talented players out there that we could talk to and see how we could make that work, right? But let me say this to you. If we could get the government on board, right, the government supported us by the use of the Mani Ramjan Stadium yesterday. They waived the fees.
Okay.
We certainly would like for them to get on board even more financially.
Have you all approached them?
Several times.
Okay.
Both in writing and in person. This, I think they're probably sick of seeing Sandra. Sandra, my letters, and seeing us in person. But we know it's a difficult time, so we are trying to do what we can do until better comes along, all right? So we will work it, and certainly we'll never give up on the youth of the country.
We can't.
That's what we're doing here. We're trying to make sure that there's support.
And from the administration level of the TTFA, what are their feedback? Because I'm sure that they would have sent their people to view what is taking place.
Well, I believe they give us the support, and hopefully that next year we get a little more support, because this is a government body for the sport, and in order for we to go forward, we have to work together, and united together is better. We will be able to do what we have to do and get the job done, right?
How many teams you'll have this year?
10. 4 in the northeast and 6 on the south central.
All right. Yeah. But we need to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk a bit about what can we look forward to for the next edition of this event, because from what I saw yesterday, it looked like it will go a long way.
Absolutely.
Right?
Thank you.
Viewers, we'll be right back after the short break.
Hey, all right, boy? All right, Bob. How do vigilantes run you out of San Francisco?
Like they take the cow and calf, you can sell them in Independence.
The government drew a new line and we're on the wrong side, so we have to go.
I can't stand up.
You can't stand up, little buddy. You really can't stand up?
You're standing on my hand.
Red sheet wearing sandcrawler. Let me at him.
Got me as a friend, you don't really need an enemy.
Thank you.
George, what about my coat?
Oh, it's very nice. Hey, I can use that one.
ACTN, The Voice, your family-friendly station.
Welcome back, viewers. Now, I'm sure that for the second edition, you all will want to have something, a step up, right? Is it too early for you to tell me some of the plans that you have? Maybe the ideas?
Sure, it's not too early, and the first thing is, with support from ACTN and others like it, we could probably do a lot more online broadcasting of games, live broadcasting. Our games were from the 21st And during that holiday season, we only had games on weekends. But as soon as the new year rolled around, we had games during the week and on weekends. So folks would have something to do after school. So games were at 6:30 during the week and at 4:30 on weekends. All right, on Saturday, and sometimes we would flex a game to Sunday, depending on our schedules and the team schedules. And so we would want to be able to get some broadcasting done. Why? Because these kids, if it is not, the one thing they need is videotape evidence that they could play. And so the scouts here locally coming to see them is great, but we want them to be seen globally. And the easiest way to do that is through online and, and certainly getting the video overseas and so on. So that is probably the biggest thing we have to look at, and it's obviously going to be a budgeted item. We have to sit and talk with sponsors and so on. Because, as much as, when I first started, I didn't have any gray hair, George.
But I run a league already. I know what it's
So, So Ms. Pompey will tell you, I mean, some nights at 2, 3 in the morning, we're talking to each other because, registrations and different things are coming up.
The teams have to pay a registration fee?
Only $500.
Okay.
And they all said, wow, for all of this, only $500. Because we didn't want a barrier. We didn't want a barrier. And certainly the monies, and she'll tell you, any monies that we made at the gates, we put right back into the kids in terms of food and, so it wasn't about us. It was about the kids at all times. So I think from a nutritional perspective, one of the things we'll look at is how we can help the kids with nutrition next year. Because certainly some of the kids are coming from impoverished homes. And we certainly would want to be able to not only feed them, but also teach them how to feed themselves better. So those are, the two things that come off the top of my head. I don't know.
What are the price structures for the competition? What was
this year? First prize $5,000. Second prize $3,000. Third prize $1,500. And fourth prize $500. It's just that was sponsored by the Next Level Consultant. Right, because of funding. Right, but we just wanted initially it was just trophy and medals. And after sitting and we had some discussion and we look at the level of football and the dedication of the coaches and the players, we sit together and we say, Mr. Brian told me, he said, Sandra, I think we need to put something else towards this. And also we have our security officer, which is on the committee also, Mr. Don Griffith. He also has something he was keep sticking with, getting some funding for these teams. However little, they will appreciate it.
Because I guess these teams had to pay their own transportation.
Absolutely.
And then Mr. Jordan said, well, okay, from his company, he will give that. And that's how we get the cash prizes.
And let me say this: the company belongs to my wife and me. So she's an integral part of this. She's the public relations officer. Well, it's more her money becomes.
She's also a part of the committee.
She's also a part.
That is smart.
So PRO and treasurer, and
she's treasurer. She won money there.
But certainly, in terms of the investment, and you put it so aptly, you said, put in your money where your mouth is. Because we talk about support, but you said, you know what, let us dive in here, understand what it takes from a financial perspective, tabulate everything, because there's a spreadsheet, going down the road, everything, so we have a real good understanding as to where this thing could go, or the kind of support it requires to go where we want it to go.
I think it will grow because you see, as I said, between the colleges league and the pro league, there's a gap for 17 and 18 and it's under 19.
Absolutely.
Right? You don't have no football for them.
Absolutely.
So basically, when football season finish, that's it.
Correct.
So you all choose the right time to play it. Right? So
there were a lot of naysayers,
You will get that in every team. People, and they are the ones who are not going to contribute anything.
That's the unfortunate
part. Because they're not going to contribute now, they will find, because I'm sure that they're going to find fault
Yeah.
the league, and you're going to hear.
But that gives us strength.
You know, yeah, exactly.
That gives us strength, you know.
Exactly.
Keep pushing on, keep helping. By the grace of God, we're praying people. You know, we've done it. And, you know, as you made a point earlier about, you know, how difficult it is to run a league. It is more difficult than I would have thought going in. Miss Pompey's been running leagues a while. But this would be my first.
Not to this extent, I don't think so.
But I did it through the whole constituency of Tabaquito already.
Right, but this one you're going all island.
Yes.
Island.
Oh, yeah.
It's the first time at this level.
Yes.
But all the time is always in my community.
Yeah, I know that.
Even in the south. And I did it through the Tabaquito constituency. I've been doing different tournaments, whether it be netball or football, because I'm in both of them.
Correct.
But as you was talking about the negatives, but I think we had more positive coming out of it than the negative. It have one or two which you will always expect, but I believe it was people were really enthusiastic and really appreciate this league. And even yesterday I was not there because I had an engagement with the netball and then came down after. When you reach there, you felt the love. You felt the excitement, the children, the smiles on the boys' face, that, being there on a all-star team. Because I know it have players who have never even make a all-star team.
Correct.
And they were just sitting on the talent at home. They didn't even get an opportunity at the secondary school football. And they got that opportunity, and I telling you, they were all excited. But I reached, some of them hugged me, some of them told me thanks, and this is what you want. And you're showing them, hey, here is a life, and this is the way you could challenge a life through.
I like the whole how it was portrayed yesterday. With the even Saturday playing the national anthem, the teams lining up. I'm sure, except for the one soft goal that the guy gave early, but generally the whole atmosphere in the game and everything and how it was put on. I think it was put on, and I would have given the guys the encouragement to go there.
Absolutely.
Because in an all-star game, remember, it's players coming together for a short space of time.
Absolutely.
So you don't get the quality you're looking for. But as the game went on, especially in the second half, right, you saw where the players started to get comfortable with themselves. And the second half really is where the football really started.
Absolutely.
Yesterday.
Absolutely.
So I'm very satisfied with what I saw yesterday, and whatever assistance I could lend to you,
I appreciate that.
I know you run me down whole this season, but things were just difficult for me, to really be on board. But I'm hoping to be on board with you all.
And you know what? Also, we didn't even have just the players, the coaches united too. So because we had Mascal from Moruga as the manager of the South, we had coach from Gasperlo and Deportivo being the two coaches. We had the coach from DCS, the Astros, being the medic. And we also had Mr. Francis from so everybody was a part of the technical staff and also in the north. So you see the coaches coming together, you see the players coming together. Even Mr. The coach from DCS warm up all teams. Which was very nice. And you just seen that love. And that's what you want. Once you have love, anything will happen. And that's what we want. We want people to start to show love. We got to show people that they care about people. And once we get that, everything will go smoothly. And that's what we're missing. We're missing love.
And speaking of love, there were several teams who chose not to participate this year who have already reached out to be a part of it going forward. So that's also showing that,
So we would have more teams.
But definitely so. We just have to manage it so that it's, it's not.
How large is the committee?
Well, right now it's 4. So we definitely are going to be looking to increase.
Because,
absolutely so.
Because it's getting bigger.
It is definitely a need, particularly from a zonal perspective. Registration, we probably would be able to take it online. That's something that we're looking at as well. But certainly you want a zonal representative there to help,
each,
to coordinate and so on. So we're looking at that.
What's your long-term goal? What, at the end of the day, I'm sure, well, you didn't really start the league to make money.
No.
Because you're using your own money to run the league.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, what is your long-term goal? What would you like at the end of this
We
whole
would
thing
like
come out of it?
to, send at least 3 to 5 kids from year 2 overseas on trial.
Okay.
Because that's the first step.
Yeah.
You know, coming from Trinidad and Tobago, where unfortunately our FIFA ranking has gone down some. You have to go on trial more often than not to get an opportunity overseas.
Yeah, because we're not up there.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then certainly we want to help those kids who want to get a scholarship, because those are the, you know, as I said, the 2 paths that you could see today here. Now, certainly there are folks in Trinidad. I know one of the guys signed with Caledonia recently. So there's opportunities here as well. But I think for our football to go where it needs to go, we have to send more of these kids outside. And then when they get that experience, it kind of lifts the country. Yeah. And hopefully we could get coaches outside too. I think that's another thing we'd want to do.
So you all already spoke to Stephen Hart already?
Absolutely. I spoke to Stephen as recently as this morning.
Okay, okay.
So he's very interested in, you know, in setting up the accommodation and so on for the player who's coming up. And so yeah, it's definitely a close connection, and that connection was made through Coach Derek King of the National Under-20, because he was there.
So the MVP that is going to be going on this trial is going to be selected at the end of the game with the Under-20 team, or it has already been selected?
It's already been selected. The issue is that, and I'm putting it on record because I just spoke to Stephen Hart this morning, and I haven't even spoken to Ms. Pompey. Coach Hart relies on Coach King. And so as much as we have made a determination, he also wants Coach King.
So this individual will be on the...
He will definitely be, there's actually couple guys that were very close. But yeah, the individual and the other individual will both be playing.
So if you all select this individual, but it's been left up now for Coach King to see him. But let's say Coach King sees somebody else who might be
right. It will still be one of these guys, because what would have happened, just so you know, Coach Brian Williams, as we mentioned, Coach Cyrus, we have to call Coach Jason Edwards from Port of Spain, he was former CIC coach, and others would have gone to games as well and picked the MVP all throughout the tournament. So that's where we would have come up, you know. But as the calculation, you know, Ms. Pompey will tell I'm a maths man, the calculation was very close. We said, okay, let us, and you know, put it to Coach Hart and Coach King at this juncture to eyeball it and, you know, so officially bless it. That's what this is.
Okay. Well, Brian? It was a pleasure. I must, Sandra, I must compliment you all on doing something like this, because a lot of time people talk and we just talk. We find all the faults, but no one comes forward with a solution. And I'm sure that the positive will outweigh the negative, because I'm sure all the members at the different teams will have good things to say. Right? And they'll be looking forward. And I'm sure that this year's tournament.
It could start in December.
Yes, right. I'm sure that this year's tournament is going to surpass last year.
And we thank you for coming yesterday and being a part of it.
I want to wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you also for having
us this morning. As I said, I'm going to lend some support to you all.
Thank you very much.
For the new season.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Well, viewers, very entertaining and enlightening program this week. We hope that you enjoyed the program. If you miss any part, there's a repeat tomorrow at 1 p.m. And all I can say is do have a blessed week.